Another episode of Silent Witch and another episode of the many faces of Monica. I think if you want to give this show anything, it's just the expressions from Monica. I absolutely adore this girl. Like, I give a lot of credit to the studio that every time anybody does anything or says anything, especially directed at Monica, she has to be somewhere in the frame and make some sort of goofy face. And I just love it. But yes, I wasn't really sure if I'd cover Silent Witch on a weekly basis because I wasn't really sure if there would be enough to really kind of, chew into and really discuss. But I think they're doing enough with Monica's character and kind of sprinkle a little bit of sort of her backstory and what sort of may have created who she is. This person, this recluse that just wants to hide away in her hut, as we see with the opening scene of this episode. I just want to go back to my hut. Let me go back there. I don't want to be here. But yes, let's jump into the episode proper. Opening up again, yes, her flustered and being upset about that. I love how Nero is always trying to kind of help her in some way. Like, we had like 3 points this episode where it's like all about the paw pads. Here, you want the paw pads? Yes, give me the paw pads. There you go. You got to get back to work, right? You got to find the perpetrator. Everything will be great, right? Of course, Monica, even after she solves the whole issue, ends up kind of just getting herself stuck in there again. But yeah, going into the whole investigation about the flower pot. Eventually bumping into Caroline Simmons, the nasty oh-ho-ho, the actual villain of the show. Isabel is a fake villain. This girl's legit the oh-ho-ho girl. But yeah, she's harassing some girl, Selma, about the fact that Aaron, which we see in the previous episode, was the one that was called out as the treasurer that was messing things up. But yes, she's left behind. Her fiance is getting kicked out, and they feel so bad for her. Come to the party. We'll find somebody else for you. We'll bring you under a wing. I do like how later on they do get a little bit into Selma's character and the idea that, yes, she's seemingly allowing herself to be bullied and brought into these groups, these friend groups, just because it's better than being outside of the group and being seen as the one with nothing. It's better that I'm with them and being bullied and helping them feel better about themselves, being basically the butt of all the jokes, rather than being outside the group and just being tortured and also seen as nothing. Seen as Selma, with the one with nothing. It is kind of sad. It is kind of sad to see that this girl has been isolated, especially the moment that Aaron got kicked out of there, sort of seeing the side effect of everything that's going on. But as we see later on, I felt like the moment that they kind of showed her, it kind of was leaning to the idea that this is going to probably be the perpetrator. Again, she's tied to Aaron. Suddenly, she becomes a prominent figure of the episode, and Monica's trying to figure out who is the person that was working with Aaron. I don't know. Maybe it might be Selma. It might be the extremely timid girl that's super quiet and huddled away, and then suddenly when she gets caught, she goes, ha, 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 it was me all along. It's stupid. I'm sorry. I have to admit, as much as I love this freaking show, that was cheesy. Selma in this episode was a little bit cringe. It was a little bit too much in that realm of something that I absolutely hate. But anyways, yes, they're there, and then suddenly Lana shows up. Hey, you want to get past them? You gotta brush past them. It does seem like Lana has a little more experience with dealing with the aristocracy than what Monica does. So here, girl, I'll help you out. Doesn't turn out well. I like the fact that when she gets up there, she's like, oh, it's the Nuov rich girl. Oh, you. Yeah, what are you doing here? You should greet me or whatever. And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I know that you were having trouble getting out of the way with your big cow butt. you couldn't move out of the way because your butt's so big. I'm like, damn, Lana. Damn. But yes, she pushes Lana and knocks Monica over the side. I love this whole bit with Monica falling because, again, it's that whole aspect of her trying to hide who she actually is. She can't just use silent casting and then just kind of poof herself back up. No, she has to think about the entire time as she's falling. It's slow motion, and she's thinking about this whole process of what I could do. Oh, I could just bounce myself. No, I could make the entire surface completely flat. That'll be perfect. It's just swoosh. I got a massive kick out of it. Again, this entire show is so freaking clippable. It's not even funny. But yeah, all the little self figures of her running around and trying to make the surface all nice and flat and everything. Just sort of that envisioning of what's going on. It was fantastic. But no, the next scene was really, really good. She falls down, bumps into Cyril, immediately starts apologizing like crazy. He, of course, as the vice president of the student council, wants to know what happened. What happened here? There's obviously a reason why you fell, and that could have seriously harmed you. Who did it? And of course, Caroline, the villainous girl, comes down there and is like, oh yeah, it was Lana. Lana, as a joke, pushed her friend off the side and she nearly got hurt. And this kind of turns in this whole kind of analysis of aristocracy and the idea that Monica goes, oh yeah, this is how it usually goes. The one with the highest power says what happened and everybody believes it and it becomes truth. That's what's happening here. This girl, Caroline, she is asserting her dominance. I am from this family, and thus he will believe me. Right, Cyril? The judgment has been made already. Lana will be in trouble. And Monica here is afraid of speaking like always. She's surrounded by people. It's a tense situation. Everything is culminating that somebody like her, this person with social anxiety, is going to snap. And she can't get the words out. Please say something. Otherwise, Lana will be the villain. She did nothing wrong, but she's going to be the villain. But it goes deeper than that as we get a very brief little memory in Monica's head where somebody's being burned at the stake. Somebody was blamed for something by somebody higher up, and everybody believed it and burned them at the stake. Her father? Question mark? If that's the case, I'm laughing nervously. If that's the case, that is up. My gosh. Because again, everything that we've sort of seen in the past so far, we have glimpses of 4 different characters at this point. 1, 2, 3, 3 different characters at this point. 3 different characters in Monica's past. Her father, who was, again, doing this big math problem and said that he probably would never finish it. The one that instilled math upon her, gave her the little measuring tape. Then you have this other guy who's mad at her father, blames him for something going wrong. And then you have this boy at the end of this episode where it sort of seems to be her reasoning for not wanting to be proud of herself. For some reason, she does not want to sort of accept that she's good at something because of some boy. Of all those past scenes that we've had, the connecting thread to come to a case like this where somebody blames somebody and everybody thought of truth because of their power, her father. Again, based on what I'm assuming is her uncle said, it was his fault everything went under. He messed everything up. So probably the city, the state, whatever group lost a lot of money, and the blame was put upon her father, and he could have been possibly executed for it. I don't know. It could be also somebody that trained her in magic was seen as a witch. No, we'll see. But that's sort of where my conclusion goes to. But the central plot here is that, yes, this is something that is terrifying her right now. I've seen blame happen before, and it led to possibly, again, somebody being killed. Not sure exactly. And now Lana's going to have that happen if I don't say something. Yeah, speaking up, it's my fault. I did it. I slipped. All that stuff runs away. It was again, really cool little kind of insight once again to Monica's character and what makes her so afraid of people, afraid of society, afraid of people, and again, what makes her afraid of even speaking out. Anyways, Monica goes up to the piano room, I'm guessing it is some club room that the piano's in. I'm thinking the girl in there was Bridget. I think that's the girl from the student council group. She's in there playing the piano, says, if you need to go to the balcony, do it quick. She goes out there, checks things. Yes, discovers that she needs to put a plot down in order to climb up on there. The moment her hands are dirty and she's putting so much emphasis on it, I'm like, yeah, it's probably going to be having to do something with removing gloves. Think in my mind of people that didn't have gloves on at some point. I completely forgot about Selma and the fact that she was in the infirmary. I completely forgot that was her. It was such a brief scene in the previous episode. I'm like, yeah, I forgot. Before she gets to talking to Felix about what she found, they did have a scene of Felix with Elliot. And Elliot specifically says that he doesn't like her because specifically she's not an aristocrat. It's like one of those elements of like, I mean, I assume that's going to be an aspect of class power and dynamic and whatnot. I don't think he hates her because she's seen as a commoner or a lowly country bumpkin. But I think there is an element here where he's probably not trusting her because he doesn't have a weight on essentially what faction she's in. Because usually with the aristocracy, she's going to have allegiance to a certain party. And maybe that's probably why he doesn't trust her, doesn't know where she aligns to, and thus be possibly flexible or whatnot. But yeah, she goes in there, she says that she knows who did it. They bring in Selma, and immediately Felix is like, there's 2 incidents. This big sign falling down at the enter ceremony, and then this whole situation with a flower pot. And Monica says it's you. So Monica, tell us. Monica's like, what? What? I'm like, what the hell? Would you not have Monica say what the proof is before you bring somebody before you and claim that they're at fault? This is one of those moments where I'm overthinking it, but it's like, as a prince, even later on, he says the idea that he wants to prove to people that Felix, the Prince Felix, can handle situations like this. That's not how you handle it. You don't just say, oh, you figured it out, let's bring them in, tell them why they did it. Because that makes you look stupid if Monica suddenly just comes, well, she sneezed and I thought it was her. That's a really bad way to bring fault to somebody. But anyways, it's funny because Monica has to do the whole like explanation. He says, give us the quick details because she starts geeking out once again. It was dorky. But yes, she found out about the whole climbing and the dirty gloves and the initials and all that kind of stuff. Before Selma starts freaking out, and yeah, they drag her out. Now here, this is sort of, again, another thing that I sort of really liked about Apothecary Diaries, but I think Apothecary Diaries is doing it much more, took it in a much more darker direction. And the idea of somebody being sort of an underling to somebody of power. Again, with Apothecary Diaries, you have Mao Mao, and she's a commoner, and she is serving somebody with essentially power over the rear palace. And that everything that Mao Mao figures out, she brings before this guy that has power that could essentially execute the people. And here's the same thing. Monica is, again, somebody like a country bumpkin that is under, far under the establishment in that place. And then you have a prince before her that she's assisting with this investigation. And she basically said, Selma did it. They bring in Selma, and then the prince goes, off with her head. It's basically Monica at that point has blood all over her hands because she essentially brought the girl to the guillotine. Here you go. Here's the one that did it. Off with the head. That's a terrifying thought process there. And so, yeah, Monica for a brief moment is panicking because he's like, yeah, it was an attempt on a royal family member. Of course, her and her entire family's dead. They're going to execute all of them. But they softened it a bit here. They didn't follow through with it. And I'm not sure if I'm too okay with that going in the future, that literally she tried to kill the prince. She should be executed for it. They're sort of just kind of ending this in a rosy way. He's saying, oh, normally I would say that, but yeah, given the circumstances, it's best to have her just withdraw, claim that she's sick or whatever. But he also says, besides, she was willing to give up everything for people she cares about. It struck a chord with me. He's sort of giving a sign to Felix's character that that's something that he's not much experienced with. That's something that he yearns for. He yearns for people that would be able to give up anything for them, or the reverse effect. Or possibly somebody wasn't willing to give up something for him in the past, and that hurts him. That's sort of where they're going with that there. But again, going back to what I said earlier, the fact that they presented this aspect, that she did attempt to take the life of the prince, and we're just going to shrug it off and say, just have her take a sick leave, does sort of make me believe that this writer might not be willing to get very serious with the writing here. I'm not going to solidify that yet. I think that's just more of an aspect of trying to have Felix not put that blood on Monica's hand, but we'll see. But anyways, yes, Monica sees all the accounting errors and starts geeking out. Oh, would you like to help me out with this stuff? Oh my gosh, numbers. I've been away from numbers for so long. Yes, yes. Okay, you can have part of the you could become the treasurer. Aw, damn it. Aw, damn it. Even Nero later's on like, that's great, isn't it? You could always be at his side. She's like, no, this is bad. This is really, really bad. That was cute. Her geeking out. Then later on, having Cyril actually looking through the papers, he's like, a transfer student, the treasurer. It's all perfect. He's looking at the data. He's like, it's perfect. Why is she so perfect at all this stuff? But then a few things happen with Cyril as he's alone. Her handwriting, he notices it. He recognizes Monica's handwriting, which makes me assume that Monica herself at some point could have wrote something, or maybe he was thinking of somebody else's handwriting. I'm thinking he'd seen her handwriting and recognized it because possibly Monica has wrote a book or text in the past, and he's read it. But additionally, yes, he gets caught up on something. He suddenly gets up to go somewhere, and then suddenly it just cuts to him in front of a door, and he goes, what am I doing? And this happens again later on. His eyes even turn red. It happens again later on. As he's walking, he says, I'm late all the time because I keep having to train Monica. And at some point, he just stops and goes, yeah, I have to get to Thornley. I have to get these documents to Thornley. He even told Monica earlier, I'm having Thornley look at these documents. I think this Thornley is probably someone that is manipulating him. And he's probably the person that's behind everything. Again, he probably was the one that manipulated Aaron, because Aaron, I believe, said that he didn't do anything, that he was being controlled possibly. And again, I don't think necessarily with the whole situation with the girl, shoot, I forgot her name already. Selma? I don't think Selma was controlled. I think she was just mad about Aaron. Again, I think Aaron was controlled by Thornley, and I think Cyril right now is being controlled by Thornley. But anyways, yeah, he gets controlled by it and walks out, whatever. We had a little brief shot of Isabel doing her villainous stuff so that everybody outside the room could hear. How dare you, you country bumpkin, brought in as a treasurer, you in your face, gain the favor of the prince, throwing cups. Was that a great performance? Yeah, but the teacup. Oh, don't worry, we have a whole box full of them. They're all chipped. So dorky. They have a freaking load of them so they can keep throwing teacups. It's so great. I love Isabel. Yeah, and then likes her hair, really wants to have her hair that way. Ma'am, you can't be wearing the hairstyle of the person that you're bullying. Oh, that's right. But we'll do it during the holidays. It's so cute. They're just so cute. We cut to the classroom. I love the scene because we already have a lot of gossip happening about the fact that Monika has been brought into the student council. Obviously, a lot of people saying this country bumpkin doesn't seem right. But we do have Lana finally confront Monika post the whole incident with falling down the stairs. She doesn't apologize, oddly enough. She just kind of asks her, like, oh yeah, are you part of the student council? I did kind of feel like there might be some sort of conflict there because Lana, I thought for a minute that the girl that was bullying, that she was a part of the student council, but Bridget's a different character. I got Bridget and the other girl, Caroline, I got them mixed up together. But she brings up the fact that, yes, it was my fault that whole thing happening. Are you okay? And the moment that Monika's like, yeah, I'm okay. And there was like that brief moment of like accepting the fact that she was concerned for her. And then suddenly Monika like just smiles and brightens up. It was so cute because I think that Monika really honestly did pick up on the fact that she was concerned for her. It's nice to have people that care about you. But anyways, Monika gets introduced to the student council. Immediately Cyril's mad about the fact that how she talks to him. But then, yeah, he's assigned to actually tutor Monika. I like she's like, can I get somebody that's more close to my age? And he looks at Neil, and Neil's like, okay. And Felix like, that's perfect, sure. I'm guessing they're implying that Cyril is closer to the age of Monika. I don't know. It was dorky. But yes, cuts to a little scene with Cyril and Monika. I did like this whole scene. There's a couple things that happen in here. One is this. She's noting the fact, again, that he's releasing mana because it's so cold in here. I'm kind of curious if that will be an element of what's going on with him and Thornley, or if it's an element of some sort of side effect that he hasn't controlled yet. Maybe she might help him with it. But yeah, she's kind of apologizing for the fact that she's caused him so much more trouble because he has to look over all of his paperwork again that she's found faults in. He's like, no, that's just the work that needs to be done. And additionally, yes, noting the fact that you should be proud. You have gained the favor and the trust of Felix, the prince, his highness. And yeah, your work is perfect. Why can you not be happy about that? You have proven your talent. You should be proud. She said, no matter what, I can't bring myself to be proud of myself. No matter what, can't. And then again, it cuts that little memory where it has some boy that's saying deep down, you've always thought I was beneath you, haven't you? It seems like a young boy, so it's probably here recently that Monika seems to have upset somebody. Somebody felt like they were below her and they decided to leave her. That because of her talent, because she was so good at things, it ended up pushing somebody away. And I think that will, again, be another thing that sort of has molded who Monika is as a character. All these things that have happened in her past have all culminated into how she is. But a little cool moment that happens here is Cyril at some point points out that, yes, he did go around, he questioned people about the whole incident of her falling. And again, it proved to Monika that there are people that are higher up in, the aristocracy that would actually not do things the way that has been sort of burned her mind from her memories. The idea that, yes, they would actually look into things. They wouldn't just take this one girl's word for it. They would actually investigate it, figure out exactly what happened, and don't just go based on what people say. Again, it was a cool little kind of little sight for her to sort of be trusting to Cyril, even though right afterwards he starts berating her. Speak up. Stop apologizing. All this kind of stuff. It was a good little thing. I like the introduction of Cyril with her. I think they'll be a good pair for a little bit. But yeah, good episode overall. Really enjoyed it again. Just a lot of goofy Monika faces. Enjoying it a lot so far. Hoping that it'll stay strong. Hoping it'll stay strong. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 3. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and want to support y'all more, become a member of the channel. But until next time, y'all take care.